Here's a Washington Examiner story, again, in the newsletter. New group to fight Democrat CEO wokeism and anti-Americanism by Paul Bedard in the Washington Examiner. This story had to do with the American Conservative Union and others. These groups now, conservative groups, who are now starting to realize the threat to civil liberties and democracy from American corporations. Yes, that's right. YouTube, Google, fascist Facebook, all of them. They are starting to realize the existential threat from supposedly American corporations eager to attach their lips surgically to the rear end of the Chinese communist torturers of the Uyghurs and the Muslim population in China, the communists, but yet condemning American democracy right here because we try to have free and fair elections in Georgia. These groups are waking up, folks. They are all starting to understand the existential crisis we are in right now. I know the rapid descent into wokeism and chaos and books being banned from Amazon, book burning, censorship on YouTube, totalitarian fascist tactics on Facebook. I get it scares you. It scares me too. But fear can be used for a positive purpose if it motivates you into action. I'm telling you, the do matters. The talk doesn't mean squat. It doesn't mean... You get the point. Talk doesn't mean anything. You have to do stuff. I promise you. You have my word. I am not leading from behind on this. I am doing my best from the front. I can't bore you with this, but we are doing things here too to send a message back that we're not going to be part of this. And there's no amount of money you can pay us to buy us off to be a part of it. None. Zero. I read your emails. There are things I just found out. That's why I'm so furious before this show. You thought I wouldn't see it. I saw it. I saw it. We all need to see it. We are losing this country. It is rapidly disintegrating right before our eyes. We are losing everything right now. The ability to assemble. We're not losing the ability to assemble. Really? You in one of these fascist states that use the coronavirus as an excuse to lock down their entire economy, you can assemble in an indoor dining restaurant? Try to have a Tea Party rally in an indoor dining restaurant in New York City. Good luck with that. We're not losing the right to speak freely. I just played you a video of the governor of Florida having his speech with medical professionals wiped off of YouTube because YouTube is full of communists. Tell me again how we're not losing the right to speech? Damn, we're not losing the right to religion. There's a baker in Colorado who's being forced to bake Satan cakes because a bunch of insane nutbag activists decided they only believe private business is private when it's liberals. When it's a conservative private business who doesn't want to bake a Satan cake, you better you will comply. But tell me again how we're free to practice religion. You just needed a Supreme Court case. The Supreme Court just finally said, yes, you can gather in homes to practice religion. What the? This is the United States. You had to take a case to the Supreme Court to determine if you could sit in your home and pray with people? This just happened. This isn't a joke. This just happened. I am not BSing you. The Supreme Court just said 5-4, by the way, not 9-0, what it should have been. And they had to overturn the Ninth Circuit. The Supreme Court just said, and that phony, fake fraud John Roberts ruled with the minority, this fake, phony, pathetic Supreme Court justice, Chief Justice of the United States, joke of a human being, John Roberts said, hey, he was with the minority on this. Yeah, we're not so sure you're allowed to gather to pray together. I thought there was a First Amendment. You thought wrong. Oh, don't worry. You're free to petition the government. Are you? Really? I read you an article the other day. Petition? that if you put together a petition and God forbid you put something on social media saying you defend Trump or a petition to defend Trump, that HR managers now are not hiring Trump people if they see anything on their social media. But don't worry, you're free to do it. You're just not free to work if you do it. The whole country's falling apart. It's falling apart. What other wake-up call do we need? Again, I always think back to my friend Ginny, who says all the time, we are the leaders we've been waiting for. You. Don't wait for someone else. Listen, I love Ron DeSantis. He's my go-to right now. But I'm not genuflecting at the altar of Ron DeSantis or Donald Trump or anyone else. You have to take the mantle yourself and do something today. Speak up at your kids' school when they start teaching racist white privilege training. Stop buying anything from Amazon, which is engaged in full-blown book burning. Do not watch another Major League Baseball game again. Do not buy their products. Do not turn them on the television. I said when I was filling in on Fox this weekend, folks, don't forget the golden rule of organizing. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the next guy. What do I mean? You don't have to bankrupt every single company that's fighting the Georgia voter integrity laws because they want corrupted election in Georgia, because that's what they want. You don't have to make an example of every single one. You can't. There's hundreds of them that have signed this ridiculous civic alliance. Why can't? Because you probably don't do business with a lot of them. Some of the companies you've never even heard of. But I can almost guarantee you've done business with one. You don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the next guy. We have to make an example of one or two. The more the merrier. But if Major League Baseball sees their viewership and attendance down dramatically, sooner or later, money talks and BS walks. It's time to make the BS walk really far. Don't put your butt in those stands no matter what at Major League Baseball. Don't turn it on your television. Don't buy from their sponsors. Do nothing. It's a small price to pay to save this country. I told you we were declining rapidly. We will hit a bottom. I promise you. We have been at really devastating, destructive points in the history of America. We've had a civil war. We've had a revolution, the War of 1812, which we barely won. I mean, some historians would argue we only won because of a thunderstorm in Washington, D.C. We've been through the 60s and the civil rights struggle. This country always comes back because 50% of the population believes in freedom and liberty and entrepreneurship and the right to petition and religion, the right to practice their religion, to speak freely, the right to vote, free of corruption. The fact that the other 50% doesn't and are totalitarian fascists, what do? Just give up and surrender the ring to them? I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. This is only calcified my will and strengthen my will to fight back. Everyone has to go down swinging, even if we don't have $1 in our pocket. Everyone. History will judge us harshly if we don't. This media machine with their big business and liberal fascist buddies will do anything to shut you up and to demoralize you. Don't do it. Don't do it. The worst you can do to them, the worst thing you can do to them is to be the last man standing. As everyone else is kneeling before their big tech fascist gods, the worst thing you can do to them is get off your knees and stand up.